I hope that answered your question. It probably didn't, because I didn't get much from it either. Let's have a look at TRVL. So the TRVL weekly candle is about to it's about to close tomorrow, and for all intents purposes, this price action looks good. Yeah, it looks bullish, right? But you always have to be careful with the price, because it's very easy for people to get bearish. It wouldn't be hard for people to get bearish. Yeah, and all you need to get bearish is one red candle. That's the problem with price. And right now it's looking really bullish. Like really, it's looking good. And I think this is the thing. If we get one big gigantic green candle now, how bullish would that look? That would look really bullish, like with high volume. I can imagine that. I can imagine next week I can imagine a nice big green candle. It would be like this. Maybe like this. I can definitely imagine that kind of price behavior. But then at the same time, I can also imagine something else. I can also imagine this. You know. So you have like a bullish one. And then you have something like just another swing failure. So this one would be like a bullish breakout, and another would just be a swing failure to come back down to continue. And that's the thing, like it's really hard to know how the price is going to behave, because at the moment what's really nice about this, the way the price is moving up, is that it seems like we're just moving up nice and gently like that. And it looks really nice on the higher time frame. It's not accurate. It's kind of like that. What do you think? And then the thing is that if we go, like, I don't think we get, again, it's always the same, like I don't know what's going to happen, but let's just say for the sake of argument we do get some kind of crazy sell-off. I'm gonna buy that, because the more the price behaves like this, the more interest there will be for the price to be bought up on the next big dip. You know, that this is the thing about the price, like we're getting higher time frame acceptance into these levels, you know, like 3.6 cents, 3.4 cents, psychological acceptance. Yeah. And so naturally, if tomorrow you wake up and you look at your phone, you go, oh my God, TRVL 2.4 cents, you're going to be like, that's really cheap. You're going to buy, market buy. You're going to buy as much as you can. because there's a psychological impact of suddenly seeing lower prices. Even though some people will be scared, most people who are following the price will see that as cheap if the price goes down. And so as we continue to slowly go up like this, it's actually really healthy, because it just makes it more difficult to go down without coming back straight back up, you know, from a psychological, like we're getting acceptance into these higher prices. And so for a long period of time, there was a lot of uncertainty in this down move. This move up was I don't really know what it was, to be honest with you. I think what happened, actually, you know what happened with this move up? It was the new year, so the year turned and all the coins pumped. And also I think what happened was that a significant crypto influencer bought some TRVL and staked it, like the godfather of DeFi, and then he tweeted that to his friends, his followers, and then all his followers bought into TRVL and they were staking it. And then that just cleared the liquidity from this previous trapped liquidity down in this downturn, and they sold into it. I think what we're seeing now is acceptance into higher levels, but yeah. There's so much volume in this 6-month candle on KuCoin. It's we're only into 1 month, and we've got over half of the volume of the previous 6 months. See that? That's like so healthy for this token to have that much volume in the first part of the month of this period. Because it just means that we're going to end up, whatever happens with this 6-month candle, we're going to end up with a really high volume candle, whatever happens. And obviously I'm imagining it to be a green candle. It's going to, whatever it looks like, it's going to look really bullish, you know, because I don't know how this 6-month candle is going to end. Obviously if it ended down here, it wouldn't look bullish. it would look really bearish. I'd still buy, but it would look really bearish. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. What usually happens with the candle, excuse me. What usually happens with candle structure is that when it's trying to move through areas, the previous ones hold. You can see like there's a, see that? But then where do you take that line? Do you go down? Is it there? Maybe it's down there. Maybe this one, huh? 2 months. Yeah, 3-month candle. We're already on increasing volume on KuCoin here. Inverse hammer. This is looking really healthy, like unbelievably healthy. Maybe look at the 2-month candles. Hold on. Increasing volume in 2-month candles. That's good. Eventually what we want on the eventually what we want on this chart is we want a back test, like a structural back test. I think that's going to be really important for continuation eventually, you know, because if we're creating some kind of structure like this, we definitely want like maybe 2 months actually, just where the price can't get back in for it to go up. We want this whole thing to structurally support the price. So that's actually really when people are going to start pouring a lot more money into this token, when they start seeing that. Because I think in people's minds, they still, you know, like people are still worried that this is going to go down. They don't. And you will get a sell-off. I think if we do get like a close, we will get a sell-off. And that's something to bear in mind. I think that will look really bullish because you're forming like a, you know, like a something like that. If that was to happen, I don't think that would be a bad thing, but I think because what you want is you want the price to go up, but for the price to go up, people have to market buy. So people like us aren't market buying. I'm market buying. I always market buy, but that's me. Most people are limit buying. I've told people to limit buy, so you expect that. But in my mind, what I was thinking is like a future long-term strategy for everyone who's interested is this. I've been thinking about this a lot, actually. And one of the reasons why I'm doing these streams is because it'll be good in the future if we can get like thousands of people doing this, the same thing, you know, like behaving the same way with the same idea in mind. And the idea is that this becomes our bank account. That's what I'm imagining. Imagine if that could happen, if this was like our bank account, like our virtual account. But what I was thinking is, imagine if we could get people to defend just this 50 moving average on the daily time frame, and in a very like a limit defend, not a sell, not a market defense. And so what I was thinking is, if the price, if this average comes up and the price does come back down again, to just have limit orders exactly where the 50 is. And if everyone did that, it would just follow it. And what you'd get is you'd get the price follow the 50, and then eventually it will do that. And then the 50 would continue carrying it. And then the next time over, the same thing. And just keep on doing that. Just keep on defending that 50 moving average. And eventually what you do is you get this kind of, you start building the momentum. And that's kind of what I have in my mind. But the way to do that would be to absorb all the sellers coming into the 50 moving average. That would be the strategy that I'm envisioning. And we haven't seen that behavior yet. So obviously we had a little kind of fake out here, but and this expansion back up was really good, because that's what you want. You want the higher closes as well. And then what I was thinking is that if in the future, what you would do is you'd have your limit orders there. So the price just can't get underneath it. So really that would have been better. Maybe better. Let me see if there's another moving average where it did react. Hold on. Let me just change that. Inputs. See if it's the 55. Yeah. Let's try 60. $70. $65. Maybe the 65. I don't know. Let's try 50. I think really you want to just be on the candle closes, actually. Probably better. Or halfway through the wick would be better. No. 60. We'll keep an eye on this in the future and see if there's a better. Sometimes what I've noticed with charts is like every token and every chart has its own kind of nuances, and just because I'm saying 50 doesn't mean 50 is the one. Like, and that's, again, it's all, analysis is very subjective, and so we start with our basics and then we start to develop specific ways of analyzing specific charts, and then what you can find, you can find something better. You just keep on analyzing, and then you find something that really works, and that really where the chart is really holding and respecting that. And yeah, it's good to keep an eye on these things. When I was looking at the so with the BTC, the Dtravel BTC, the TRVL BTC chart, we're looking for a golden cross very soon, actually. Very soon. See that? And right now on the BTC chart, the 200 moving average hold on a second. Oh. I'm gonna be back in 5 minutes. Just got to do something. Sorry. Be right back. Yeah, I think what I'm imagining with TRVL is that I think if we see a higher time frame accumulation, it's going to be really healthy for this token, like super healthy. And that's kind of what my mind is my thought process is right now, is like a really long-term accumulation of this token, and eventually we're gonna get like a crazy breakout, like an unbelievable breakout. And I do want us to see us go higher, but I don't want us to see us go like, I don't really want to see this, you know, I don't want to go higher down. I don't want it to be crazy volatile. What I really would like is like gradual rising, and this volume increase was amazing. Like, it helped a lot. And what I can see is that it's definitely had an impact on the price. You can see that it's had an impact on the price. This injection of volume, whereas before we were trading in this lower range here, you have this sudden impact injection of volume, and just like now the price is found or is settling higher. It's settled higher. That's what's happened. And we're basically back above this volume point of control. And if you can see in the past on the Bitcoin chart, that we came down into this level on the 13th of July 2023. See that? You see how we came back into that level? Came back into the level, into the level, into the level, lost the level. Faked it out, fake out to lose it. And then we couldn't get through. And now we're back above it. We're holding it, holding it. Yeah. So it's very important level that we're above right now when it comes to the Bitcoin chart. And I think that's a very important sign of strength. The fact that we've flipped this significant level from some sort of resistance into some sort of support. That's what it looks like according to this. Yeah, this is a volume level. So what it really means is that in the whole of the history of this token, most of the volume has been traded at this price, and the price is in Bitcoin, right? So here, one sat value being valued, sorry, one TRVL is being valued at 850 sats. That's the most traded price for this token at the moment, right? And so there's a lot of demand for TRVL at that price. Now, there are volume levels above us. There are high volume nodes. But in the last push up, when the price went up and came back down, a lot of that volume, the liquidity of that volume has been cleared all the way up to the top of this wick here. And so naturally, the last remaining amount of liquidity in the higher ranges is slightly above us there. It's above this wick here. There's a bit of liquidity there. What does that mean? Well, that means that in order to go above this level here, you need a little bit more volume. You need more volume. That's to clear that level. So you can't just clear it with no volume. You have to have volume to clear that level, because you need volume to clear the liquidity that's sitting above that level. And that's going to be something to look out for. But it's looking really good, and I think what am I almost imagining right now is a little bit more of a well, look, as the price goes up, the more bullish it becomes, right? Because that's what it is. You know, you become bullish as the price continues to increase in value. And then now the value that I'm looking at now is against BTC. And what I'm seeing is that we're out of that lowest part of this range now. And if you can imagine that this lowest part is a range, yeah, we're no longer there anymore. We've left the low range. I think that's quite bullish, because it's always bullish when you're going from a lower range to a higher range. It means that there's been a rejection of the price at the lower levels, and now the price is getting accepted back into the higher levels. So down here, when one TRVL was 600 or 650 sats, it was traded and traded and traded, and now people are willing to buy TRVL at a much higher price at 945 sats. Yeah, whereas before that they were willing to buy it lower, but then someone came along and said, no, this is too cheap, I'm going to buy a lot of this at that price. And now the price is trading much higher. So it's getting acceptance into this higher levels. And what we want to do is we want to kind of continue that behavior. And behavior is going up to the next range. I'm just trying to determine the next range. Definitely this is a range. Hold on. We're going to delete these. So I've got those. I've got these three. What's that GAN fan? That's interesting. I'll keep that. What's that? Right. This is from before. So we have a GAN fan from before. And we're well above this 2-1. Taking it from the high to this pivot low here on December the 22. Then we have this 2-1 which acted as resistance here and here and here, and now the price is actually above it. You see that? We're holding above it. So what we're actually doing now is we've been able to successfully flip this 2-1 GAN from resistance into support. That's what we've been able to do. So I think that's quite a strong price action and strong behavior when it comes to the price with respect to Bitcoin and TRVL. And I think what we're looking to do now, the next step would be to get, and that's what you want to see. You want to see now the next step. And I think the next step, we want to see the price pushing up against the next GAN. Like we did before. We want to go up, and we've tested it once here. So that's the first test. And then also we've got this previous value area high. This is a previous value area high. Now, to me, it corresponds with this weekly level. So let me just get rid of it. And let me just mark it up as this weekly level here. There. I think that level is going to be quite important, because I can clearly see that it's held as resistance once, twice, 3 times, like 3 significant occasions. It's held as resistance, right? And in the last occasion, the price tried to get through that level 2 weeks in a row, and on one time of that big push up, it took out all of the liquidity. So I think naturally what I'm thinking to myself is, we have a range, and the range below us is here. Let me draw it for you. So we have one range underneath us here, and we're out of that range now. That's the lower range. Right. I think we're out of that range. And then if we draw, just make it green. Right. And now we have another range. And I think we're in that range now. It's where we are now. And then the next range, I think, it's a bit of a wider range. And then the next one, we're going up all the way, probably to this value area high. Probably. You see that? Right. We just kind of equal this up. So it looks good. Let me make this a different color so you can see it. So I'm thinking that possibly we're in this kind of middle range, and I think this weekly level, where can I see it? There. It's quite important, this level. And so in the future, what I'm expecting, now that we're holding this as a support, I honestly think it's unlikely that we go down as long as we're holding this as a support. Like I just don't see the price behaving that way, because we are holding support. We're above the point of control. We're above this 2-1 GAN, and this is a really high time frame. This is going all the way back to the beginning of this pair, April 22, to the current price. So this 2-1 GAN fan is now our support line. Basically, we have this kind of invisible support line, and also we're on the point of control, which is the highest volume node of this whole range, which is the whole range of the price action since the beginning until today. And so we're holding support right now, and you're basically accumulating on support levels right now. And it doesn't really matter, as far as I'm concerned, how long this takes, because naturally speaking, it doesn't really matter, because like we're going up now. We've turned the lows, and we're back up, and we haven't really seen this kind of behavior in the price action. We saw this impulsive move up before, and that, you know, you were down into this range here. You had this impulsive move up, but there was no follow through. There was no interest to continue the move, and it fell down lower, and then it continued, right? This is very different, because we've dropped into these ranges. We've come down into this range here. We dropped into this range here. We came down into this range here, and now we're back up. Looks like we're back up into this range here. That's what it looks like. And so it's a very different behavior, and we've been up into this higher range now for 3 weeks. It looks like it's about 3 weeks. It's the first sign of real higher time frame strength. The fact that we're reclaiming a range, and we're finding acceptance into these higher prices when it comes to TRVL against BTC. I think it's very unlikely that we just go down now like that. It just doesn't make any sense, because of the way the price is reacting off the lows of this range that we're at now. And you can clearly see that there is a reaction in the lows, you know. When you zoom in, you can see that there's a reaction. You can see the price is not being accepted lower down. There's a reaction. And you see even here on that daily time frame, look how perfect the reaction was on this GAN fan, this 2-1. And the point of control is nicely holding as support. It's not 100% accurate, but that is a hold, is a support, you know. So I just think it's really unlikely that we just suddenly drop. I can't see it. I can't see why it would happen. And in any case, I think it's really important for people to realize that if it does happen, it'd be very unlikely for the price to be there for a long period of time. It'll be more probable, highly probable, that the price will be brought right back up very quickly. Just because of what I'm seeing in the behavior of the way the price is moving, the fact that we lost this range, we fell down into the lower range, and now we're finding acceptance back into this higher range. And that's what I'm seeing. We were back above this GAN 2-1 line, and also we're back above the point of control, right? And going forward, I think, you know, what I'm seeing is that people are accumulating. That's what it looks like. I can see accumulation. This is quite interesting. So this is actually quite a bullish tell. What you have is you have overbought on the CCI with this wick here, and the CCI went up into 221, and now as the CCI is going down, obviously the price came down, but now the price is kind of going flat, or it's going up, and the CCI, the price is still going down. Yeah, so there's a bit of bullish divergence on the CCI. Let me see how it looks here. Yeah, you can clearly see the bullish divergence on the CCI. So you see how this made a higher low, and here on the CCI you see how it made a lower low. So there was like massive absorption, limit longs absorbing the price at these levels to form a higher low on the price, even though the CCI was going much lower. So the market sales were being absorbed by limit longs. That's what this is telling me. You know, so you've got limit longs absorbing sales, market sales right now at these prices. I think that's quite a good sign. So going forward, I think it'll be really good to see this weekly level flipped into support, and we may be forming some kind of higher time frame kind of something like that. It may be happening, you know, some kind of inverse head and shoulders as the interest picks up in this token. I don't see why that can't play out. And you know, it could happen that by the end of March or somewhere in the middle of March, if this does continue to behave this way, that we do get some kind of breakout. And then we have to see how the price behaves as we go up, if we do get some kind of breakout. And then if I do a pool like that, yeah, so you'd probably be looking to take out the top of that wick again another time, and maybe coming back into that 4-1 potentially to go up there. And then we would probably be in this top part of the range. That's kind of what I'm thinking. We do get like a little breakout, and then the range here for a little bit. And eventually what you want to see eventually is you want to see this value area high flip into support. So I don't know how this would work, but let's just say we have a little breakout there. And then you want to see like bam to go up. And obviously our last kind of real resistance area is going to be in this last scan line at the top. So we might see a little bit of kind of, you know, like that. That's kind of what I'm imagining for the future. It's kind of, I don't think we're just going to ignore these lines as we continue going up. And that's going to give people ample time and opportunity to accumulate when we start to consolidate as we take the next level up. And then in terms of ranges, well, once we get above this higher range, this top range, I think we're in the final range, and that's all the way up to the all-time high. And so this is what I'm seeing, something like that at the top. That's your final range. And if we're able to get past the final range, it'll be a lot easier to get up there past it, because there's not much volume profile in the upper parts of this range, and so therefore the price should move quite quickly through those prices, and eventually once you get into the highs, you're in price discovery. And once you're in price discovery, there's literally zero volume. And so the only way to kind of technically try to create targets for the future, and it's good to actually have this Fibonacci pool. Let me just do that now. It's interesting. So this value area high corresponds with the 50% fib, but actually what we're seeing with these ranges is that maybe, even though I've got a weekly level slightly higher up, maybe the level to beat is this 236 on the fib level here. So actually maybe this range is a little bit, maybe these fibs are correct or better. Hey Dan, all right, no worries, mate. You can welcome. Like, I didn't even expect you to hang around. I'm just doing TA. I'm just like, I do it anyway, but now I'm just doing it and everyone can just watch me. So even if you weren't watching me, I'd be doing this. I do this anyway. So the reason why I'm streaming is that we'll let people watch me stream, and I'm still doing my own analysis, but I'm just commentating instead of speaking to myself. I'm just speaking to everyone, and then obviously it's always good to do that, because if anyone has any ideas or any input, if they see something, they can just tell me and we can work together to do more, to create better analysis. Right, so have a good day and have a good weekend. See you tomorrow. So yeah, maybe this is forming, I don't know, I mean, it's, who knows. I do like the 382 actually. I definitely like this 50, and obviously we've got the golden pocket in between. So makes sense. We've got that SFP now. So actually probably the level to beat right now and is this 236. So that's 1027 sats. I do really like that line. I really think it's playing a role in the way the price moves. I can see that the candles are forming around that line and the wicks are respecting it in some meaningful way. On the 3-day chart, you can clearly see here that the 236 is having influence on the price, and on the daily chart, you can still see it. You can still see it. It's not like as precise, but you can still see that it's holding a support and resistance. And so naturally, this is a big resistance right now in our way. But usually what happens with the price is to get through key resistance levels and to flip them to support, you need consolidation underneath resistance. And I think that's what we're seeing. And eventually what will happen is that the price will go and test and break. That's usually what happens with the price. So as long as we consolidate, I don't really see any reason why we don't flip it back into support. And in the past, you can see that it was support for a period of time here. See that? It was support. So naturally, the next kind of indication of strength that I'm looking for TRVL is for the price to get back above this 236, flip it into support for continuation. That's kind of what I want to see happen now. And I think once we start seeing that behavior, if we start seeing that, that's going to give people confidence to reaccumulate higher up. And that's what we want. We want to kind of keep on accumulating higher and higher and higher, and then we're going to see the price go and get acceptance into the higher levels. And as we see the acceptance of the price at higher levels, then more and more people are going to have more confidence to keep on accumulating at higher prices. And so at the moment, we're still in this second lower level. And I think when we get above the 236 and start forming volume, creating volume in that higher level, I'm going to give people a lot of confidence. And then the question is this 382 powerful enough to hold the price or not? Well, I think probably yes, because we do have a lot of volume here where this 382 roughly is drawn. And then we do have two consolidation areas here, look, 1 and 2. But the great thing about the volume that came with this breakout a few weeks ago now is that it would have cleared all the liquidity up to the high, the pivot high here. And so even though there's, you can expect us to find resistance, I am expecting the resistance to be significantly less than the first time when we went up there. So naturally, you know, I do expect it to react, but I also don't think it's going to necessarily be a stronghold on keeping the price from continuing further in the future, as long as we keep on doing what we're doing right now. And what you'll see with the price over time is that as the momentum builds, let me bring the other one. Yeah, so actually on the 3-day chart, that was the 200 moving average. See that? Let me get rid of these rectangles now. Put them in the group. That's good. I can get rid of the GAN. These brush strokes as well. Value area high. So let me see this weekly. Okay. Have a little bit of a trend line break here as well on the CCI. That's a trend line, and the CCI is a leading indicator, and it's showing a trend line break on the daily time frame. We're definitely in this upper range now, 100%. It's very obvious. Price is just going sideways now on this upper range. We're nicely holding above the point of control of this upper range now. That's very nice. That's good to see. That gives me confidence about this range. And we're about to see a golden cross on TRVL against Bitcoin soon. It's almost about to happen. I think possibly if these lies carry on in the current trajectory, then we should probably see a golden cross by Friday or next weekend. Basically, we could probably see a golden cross on the daily time frame. I think that's really bullish to see that, with the price consolidating above the golden cross, but not yet overextended. You know, I think it's going to give a lot of people confidence about accumulating. And the accumulation that I'm talking about now is the accumulation with respect to Bitcoin, you know. And so obviously a lot of people are thinking to themselves, should I buy Bitcoin? I think you should. But also you should buy TRVL because look, TRVL is showing enormous strength against Bitcoin right now. And we're about to have a golden cross. And we've had a really extended downtrend. A downtrend that's lasted nearly 2 years. And we're finally coming out of the lows. I think the biggest indication of coming out of the lows is to reclaim this first higher time frame fib level and flipping it into support, because at the moment we haven't done that yet. We haven't achieved that goal. Yeah. And I'm using the log chart, so you can't really see how far the distance is, but it is quite a distance. Let's use the regular chart. You can see that it is quite a distance to get back up there to actually that's the fib levels. Hold on, let me just do this differently. Sorry, if you use the price charts, you have to do fibs based on price, not based on log. I can't do it for some reason. Change into this again. So this is the price chart, and so based on price, do a full fib. Yeah, so that's a full fib based on price. So 1,864 sats. And then if you look at it at log chart, you have to do it based on log. So actually no. So based on log is correct. I wouldn't chart this on price, on regular. I would just stay on log, and then when you do a fib, do it based on log, and you can do that by just selecting fib levels based on log, and you can see it's actually 1,027 sats. So if I go back into the regular chart, it actually changes my fib back to regular, but it's actually 1,220. What was it? 27. Change it back again. Oh my god. 1,020. So we're actually almost there. That's a key resistance level right now. 1,027 sats. There. It's a really important resistance level right now, and I think if we can flip it into support, that's going to be a massive sign of strength. Massive. Another sign of strength that I'm looking for now as well. So there's lots of like signs of strength that I'm interested in. I think getting above this key 236 fib level on the log chart is really necessary to prove, for the price to prove strength. But also in terms of the candles, I do want to see us start trading above this this level here. It's like a monthly level. That's about 1,020, 1,273 sats. Let's see how that looks on a lower time frame. Yeah. So we have traded through it once. Yeah. And there's a bit of a tight range if we get above that. So probably in the first instance, you probably are expecting, if we do manage to get above here, the price to range here first. Like, I don't necessarily think we're going to just go straight up, and certainly not just, you know, like, it's the thing about the price, it goes from level to level, so you could expect the price to consolidate here and it will try and get to the next level and consolidate here before it goes to the next level. That's kind of what you're going to be seeing in the future with the price, if the price continues to behave the way it's behaving. And then basically what we're experiencing is continued interest, it's continued accumulation, and this kind of accumulation is the best form of accumulation right now, what we're experiencing. So the lows are being defended with market buys, but the rest of the price is being absorbed by limit longs. Yeah, and that's what we're experiencing right now. So you see the lows are defended with market buys, and in the meantime what's happening is that people are accumulating by placing limit orders to prevent the price from descending. And so naturally, if people, for the price to descend, you've got market selling going on. But if you're market selling, all you're doing is you're filling limit orders, limit long orders. And that's what's happening right now. So we're seeing a really continued long-term accumulation right now, and I think this is the best thing. This is the best price action for long-term increases in value. I don't think people realize that, but this is the best form of price action. And fundamentally, in the future, if you do suddenly impulse now, you could also lose value very quickly, because you haven't created levels of support, and also you haven't back tested key levels to flip them from resistance into support. And so the best form of price action is to continue to increase in price, but at each stage you're flipping levels from resistance into support, and you're creating volume ranges on the way up. Yeah, and that kind of price action prevents the price from just suddenly crashing. Yeah, because you're slowly getting acceptance into higher prices, higher prices, higher prices. In the future, the most impulsive price action is going to be if you flip the all-time high into support. That's going to be the most, or even if you don't flip it in one move, some kind of continued consolidation. So some kind of indication that the price is finding acceptance into price discovery. Once you get into price discovery, there really is no limit. Like, it becomes very impulsive. It becomes very impulsive. Yeah, and the price can really go a long way. You get into a situation where people don't know if they should sell, because the price just keeps on going up and up and up and up and up and up, and it gets really psychological, because then you get a lot of fear of missing out, and you get a lot of greed, which prevents people from selling, and preventing people from selling causes the price to continue going up, because the fear of missing out causes the price to go up, because people just keep on buying, and the greed prevents people from selling, which causes the price to continue going up, because to prevent the price from going up, you want people to sell. And if the price continues to go up as people are selling, that's healthy. That's kind of what you want. You want the price to go up with volume, which indicates that people are selling, but the price is still going up. Yeah. And you get into a situation in price discovery where if you get the right conditions of fear and greed, then the price could go up really fast, really high, and you'll get really you'll get highly extended prices, very extended. It'd be very difficult to take profit. So what you have to do in that circumstance is be very regular and consistent about your approach in taking profit. In this circumstance, the profit will be back to Bitcoin, but naturally you could also do it versus USDT. It wouldn't matter, because of course, if this was going up, so would USDT. And ideally what you're doing is you have to have a systematic approach to taking profit. You're basically skimming as the price goes up, and that just, you don't want to go crazy, because you don't want to be out of position, because if the price does start elevating in a rapid pace, you want to catch that move. You don't want to be out of position, but at the same time you do want to set limit orders in the way to take profit, and it has to be limit orders. I think people need to understand that's the healthiest way to move for the price to move. If it can get through limit orders, it would be better, because then it would have to go up with volume. So what you would have to do in the circumstances, you have to go, okay, well, let me just give you an example. And this is kind of what I'm thinking about this a lot, about the future, about what I'm doing, what I'm thinking about doing myself, and if and when that time comes, to have a strategy for how to take profit. But naturally, I think a lot of people will have the trigger finger on the market sell. I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think that's a really bad idea, because market selling will bring down the value of your whole portfolio, because you're bringing down the price. You don't want to do that. You want to take profit without bringing down the price. That's what you want to do. And so naturally, what I would hope that people, if people are willing to do this and they get into the habit of doing this, is that they would set their take profits with laddering limit orders, and to be scaling out with limit orders, and at key levels they can say, well, this is a big take profit. So 11,100 at this current price range, assuming that we don't go lower, then 111,068 sats is a key take profit. So what you would want to do is you would put limit orders in small amounts along the path, very small amounts. And the reason why you put small amounts is because you want to fill the order books, but you don't want to scare anyone off. We don't want to scare people. So obviously if someone says, oh my God, look at that big order, they're not going to buy. No one's going to buy into a massive sell order, limits a massive sell order. And so I think the technique would be to put tons and tons of really small orders, and just fill it with lots of little orders. I think that's the best strategy. And if, you know, if the price does go up, consolidate and push up, it'll be pushing up with volume, because it's getting through those limit orders. Yeah, that's kind of what you want to see. You want to see the price go up with volume, because that would just indicate healthy price action. If the price is still getting up there with volume, it means there's still a lot of interest, and it also means that you're taking profit without bringing the price down. I think that's the best way to do it. And I think what I'm going to kind of like keep on talking about this, and especially when it comes to USDT as well, I think rather than people market selling, we need to get people into the habit of taking profit with limit orders. So naturally, like when I'm looking at the current price action, if someone is now looking to take profit, well, where would they take profit? Well, it's not difficult to find. You'd be looking at a range pool, my bad, fib pool from there to there. You see that this wick came into the 50%. So you could put your limit orders there. You could ladder them in there. Lots of little orders. 1,000 TRVL, 1,000 TRVL, like every certain percent, 1,000, like that. That's how you would do it. And so you're basically, with in effect, you're dollar cost averaging out, but not with a market sell. And so, and then you don't get these kind of crazy wicks where, and the reason why these wicks go up is because of, in such a crazy way, is because of, in many ways, it's because of the lack of volume. Yeah. And the reason why the price comes down is because people haven't limit sold, so they market sell. Yeah. And so a good strategy would be to plan where you're looking to take profit and start setting limit orders. And even if you set smaller orders, like even small orders, it doesn't matter. Even if I was to tell you, it's not a bad idea to set limit orders, small orders on all of these levels. I think that would be a really good strategy for most people. Yeah, because no one can predict the price. So we don't know if tomorrow what's going to happen. What if that happens? You know, if if that was to happen and you've set your orders, then you don't even, like, it can happen really fast, much faster. Probably like that. So this is something to think about. I think it's quite good, the behavior of the price right now. It's looking pretty good. So, let me have a look. Hi, good morning, Craig. How's it going? You're here. Anyone else? I'm just making some food for myself while I while I just dabble on the charts and see what's happening. Okay, I've got it open again. Live chat. See. Do you want me to have a look at anything for you? I was having a look at TRVL, and I think on the BTC chart, this higher time frame 236 is acting as resistance at the moment, and I think the next sign of strength that's going to give people a lot of confidence is going to be to reclaim that level and flip it into support. think once we start trading at those higher prices, people are going to be looking at this and starting to get really bullish. I think in a lot of people's minds, you know, the reason why they're not necessarily buying is because no one likes to buy into resistance. People like to buy on top of support. But what most people don't see is that if you were to do a volume range pool, the fact that we are above the point of control is basically support. So the fact that we're above it tells me that we're above support. We've flipped it into support. And then also when I create these ranges, I can see now that we've cleared this lower range, you know. And so naturally this wick low from this candle on July the 23rd, it came down, bounced, lost it, couldn't get back up, and we're up, and now we're holding it. So we're basically, what we're effectively doing is we're reclaiming this level here, and that is a swing failure level. But it's not a swing failure, and the reason why it's not a swing failure is because if it was a swing failure, you'd go down and then up. This is called, in technical terms, a failed auction of the lows. We've failed lower prices, and now we're starting to go back up. Oh my god, I'm getting phone calls. B is saying Quank's breaking out.